Yo, 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 it's your boy Casual Rail with the Silent A podcast. And man, we're back with another one. And a quick one at that. Hit that like button, gets eyes on the show and helps us grow. And more importantly, subscribe if you got that time. And for this, let's get straight into it. This is our periodic check on my man, clear my damn throat, on my man, Errol, the Truth Spence. We do a periodic check on our Dallas brother. Just to see where he's at, see if he's coming back, see if the truth is coming back, see if the big fish is going to step back in the scene and, kind of redeem himself after that Terrence Bud Crawford loss. And, some news came out over the weekend that, he announced that he'll come back when he is ready, when he's fit, in shape, and mentally prepared. And I feel that. I do. I really feel that. I mean, my brother, you got to be ready. You don't want to just rush back into boxing. You can't play boxing. You got to be 100% focused. You got to be 100% ready to get down in that ring. And that's why I'm leading to this. I'm not sure if Errol Spence is coming back. It's going on, 3 years now? Since that fight with Terrence Bud Crawford. He'll hit it soon over the summer. And there have been rumors of fights with him and Fundora, XYZ, moving up to 154-pound division, but nothing seems to stick. Nothing seems to get confirmed. Yes, he's been looking good. Now, if you've seen him walking around, he is sharp. Not the old blown up Errol Spence. Looks good, actually, in my personal opinion. So that leads us to mean that mentally there's something still there. And sometimes that mental defeat, that mental battle, that's hard to come back from a lot of times. The physicality, what happened to him and Terrence Bud Crawford, we saw it. He got hands put on him. No disrespect. But he recovered from them scars and them battle wounds pretty quickly. You see him back out and around, not too shortly after that fight. And obviously we seen him in the ring with Fundora when they first announced they were going to get down, and then obviously got canceled. But it means there's something still there in the mentality, right? He still looks good physically, sharp, unless there's something they're not telling us. Obviously, he had that big accident back in, I believe, 2019, 2020 or so, that almost took his life, and blessings to him still being alive. He recovered from that physically, got back in the ring, got multiple scraps, and then led to that Terrence Bud Crawford unification, undisputed fight. Lost that, came back physically, looks good. Look at him now, looks sharp, looks ready. It's clear that it's, that first loss, right? That first defeat. And then a defeat like that, can sometimes just break you down mentally. And more importantly, when you made the kind of money that Errol Spence has made, I believe he still has the legal dispute with his old trainer, Derek James, who I believe they should just make up and get back together, because those two worked beautifully together. That was a great teamwork. They only took one loss in their entire career. And yes, I believe Errol Spence will probably be a future Hall of Famer here as well, even if he stopped today. They need to get back together and build that magic. But that mental loss, that mental fortitude, I think that's what he's fighting right now. I think that is where Errol Spence is at. I think he's really trying to find, himself after the loss. His first loss in his entire career there on the world stage. Rebuild that to make sure he doesn't suffer that again. Make sure he has the confidence when he steps back in. The mental loss of losing his trainer. They're going through their dispute. You got to find somebody new. The trainer and fighter relationship is something that's strong and really needs to be, tight before you do anything. And then it's just the mental fortitude, the mental fight of, does he still have that hunger to be back in the ring after making the money that he's made, taking the loss that he's taken, even taking the loss of not getting the Fundora fight, normally being the big man, the big fish, the big dog. That ego is kind of down a little bit. Like usually Errol would get whatever he wanted. Especially on PBC, he is a foundational member. He is a cornerstone member of the PBC. Helped build that network, that team, that promotional company under Al Heyman. And not be able to get the fights that he's asking for as well. I think that can also mess with the mentality and ego. On top of that, there's other things going down in Dallas, with the different trials going on, whether his friends is under trial or, close associates and the likes of Yella Beezy, for the unaliving of MO3. He got charged, I believe, with a capital felony or something like that, facing serious charges, even a death penalty in the case of Texas. That is a very close associate, very close friend who they're saying that he paid for, the unaliving of Mr. MO3, rapper out of Dallas back in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot of things going on, getting tied up in that, losing your trainer, losing your first fight, not being able to get the fights that you want. It's a lot to struggle with, a lot to battle against, and I feel him. He'll be back when he's ready, back when he's settled, and more importantly, I believe, back when he's mentally prepared and focused back on the sport of boxing. Which leads me back to my first point. I'm not too sure with everything that's happened, everything that's going on currently, especially in the Dallas scene with what we just talked about. I'm not too sure Mr. Errol the True Spence is going to really return anytime soon, if ever again. Now, I hope he does. I really hope he does, because to me, he was fresh, a breath of fresh air for the sport. All his fights to me were exciting. Sells out every time. Always challenged himself. No tune-ups. He is the definition of a true fighter and a true warrior, and he's great for the sport of boxing. I hope he can return. I hope he can get back into it. But where he is right now, he just says he's got to get himself together, and he'll be back when he's ready. I hope that I'm wrong, that he's not going to return, but it's been 3 years. But then again, Kieth one time Thurman stayed out for pretty much just as long. He got back in there in fashion. And in fact, I wouldn't mind seeing him and Errol just go ahead and get it on right away, maybe late this fall. But anyways, that's just our opinion. That's our take. If you want to know more about what's going on in the Dallas scene, there's plenty of videos out there where we just talked about what MO3, situations going back and forth, accusations being thrown out there. Some of them, to me, are preposterous. I believe it's just going on with whatever his associate is and the likes of Yella Beezy. But there are people saying that he's tied up in it as well. They obviously all knew each other. And maybe this is playing into some of that as well. Anyways, there's plenty of other videos out on that. We're not going to cover it here right now. But if you want to know more about the background, go check them out. Look it up. MO3, Yella Beezy, Errol True Spence. And you can see what we're talking about here. That's just a minor thing, I think, that's wrapped up in this. I think the more important thing is his mentality. All this combined, I should probably say, all this combined is weighing in on him. Again, being out the ring, not getting the fights that he wants, used to being the big dog, used to being the big fish, taking that loss to Terrence Buck Crawford on the stage that he did. Obviously, people making memes of him back and forth. Fighting fans are cruel, man. So getting your mind wrapped around that and making sure you're ready to come back into the sport of boxing without your old trainer on top of that, that's a tough task to ask for. But if anybody can do it, Errol Spence can. He's done the unthinkable coming back from that car accident. So if anybody can do it, I won't be surprised if he walks back in there. But at this point in time right now, I hope he does. But I'm not too sure anymore. Anyways, let us know what you think. Hit that like button, comment below, and as always, subscribe, man. It's your boy, Kyle's Real Sign A Podcast. Until the next time. Peace.